Hello there. In this video, we're going to take a look at icons and how we can build out some icons in different sizes in a really efficient way. So let's go. Okay, so welcome back to our file. We're in our style guide again. Now in this video, I'm not going to create a load of icons from scratch, as I think that is not a good efficient use of time. There are a lot of places on the internet that can provide you with really great icons. Some of them are open source, some of them you may have to pay for. So for our project for now, what I'm going to do, let me just swipe right, and we're going to use feathericons.com as it's a very straightforward set of icons that we can just drag and drop and use in our Figma file. And like it says up here, it's open source icons. I think you can expand the collection here. There's an advert that I'm sure takes you to somewhere where you can pay, but there's a good set of icons that we can utilize out of the box for our project. So what I'll do, let me just swipe left. So we don't have to use the website. I mean, you can use the website if you want to, and you can do some searches for icons. So if I wanted to look for a chevron, loads up all the chevrons and so on. So the search is really good, but let's just swipe left. Let's go back into our file and let's first of all create a new page. So let's just click on typography, click on the plus, and let's put icons here. Depending on the complexity of the project, what you can do in some instances is rather than chucking everything into one file, which we're doing here, you can separate out the files so they don't get too bloated. So maybe you want to put your colors, your typography, your spacing, your shadows, and your grids in one file. And then maybe you want to push your icons, your logos, maybe some visuals into another file. So if you've got lots of different assets, it's not going to bloat that file and it's going to become slow to load. It's unlikely it's going to become super slow to load, but I'm just thinking ahead. If we're working on a really complex project that could last many months or many years, that we're prepared and we've designed a file structure that works really well. It's really just thinking about the future, and for your specific project, could there be a lot of assets? And if there is, maybe you want to split out the files. If there's not going to be so many assets, maybe the project's a bit smaller, maybe you can consolidate those and put them into one file. So just something to think about there. Just to mention as well, something that's related, if we were going to create custom icons, I'd recommend looking at keyline templates. And I'll link a video card above for keyline templates, as that may come in useful if you're looking to create your own icons and keep them consistent. Okay, so let's start with the basics. Let's just copy a page. So let's copy this page, for example, shadows. Let's bring that back into icons. Let's copy and paste. We can get rid of those shadows for now. All right, and let's rename the frame. So we'll rename that to icons. Let's rename that heading here to icons. I'm actually going to option click and drag to duplicate this here, because what I want to do is I want to create two different frames. I want to create a frame with my icons in it, but I also want to create a component that is going to house my icons. So the reason I want to do this is because in some cases you may want to use slightly larger icons, and in other cases you may want to use slightly smaller icons. So what we can do is we'll create something called an icon slot. Okay, so let's look at the icon slot in a second. First of all, let's just get some icons into this file. So let's just click on our actions button down here, and I've already opened it recently, but if you're going to search for the plugin Feather Icons. I'm going to click on that there, and now we've got our icon plugin. So just to start as an example, I want to take some chevrons from this icon library. So let's just take all of these chevrons here. So we've got down, left, right, and up. Because I think it's quite likely we're going to need these icons when we're building out some of our components. Let's just copy those because I think they've just gone onto the canvas. Click on the container, Command V. There we go, so they're nice and organized. So let's just go in. The naming convention I think looks good. Chevron hyphen down, chevron hyphen left, chevron hyphen right, chevron hyphen up. Happy with that. If you go inside, let's just double check. So if we go inside one of them, we have the actual SVG itself. It's set to scale. So this is going to be important when we're using icon slots, that the SVG is set to scale, because when you're changing the size of the icon slot, the icon will need to scale up or scale down. If it's set to anything else, like left, right, it's not going to scale correctly to the icon slot. Just go through, I'm pretty sure they're all going to be set correctly. So they're all set to scale. They're all 24 by 24. So So that's good. Let's just click in the layers, shift, select them all, and I want to create multiple components. So I've just gone up here, create multiple components. So there we go, they're now components. Okay, so now that we're done with the icons above, let's go down to the icon slot. Let's click in here, let's find the container, and let's draw out a frame. So we'll draw the first one out as 24 by 24. Okay, we'll just go in here, manually set that, so 24 by 24. And we're going to just rename that frame to large. Okay, so that should be fine. Let's just Command D, duplicate that. I'm just going to adjust the size into 20 by 20, and that'll be for our medium. Okay, and then press Command D again, and for small we'll do 16 by 16. Okay, so let's go up here in the first instance. Let's just take the chevron down. Let's Command C, let's copy that. Let's go in here into our large icon slot. Let's just paste that in. I actually want that chevron to go inside the large. So let's move that so it sits nicely within here. So 24 by 24. Okay, that's great. So let's Command C again. Let's copy that chevron. Let's click on medium, Command V. That has actually gone inside the medium. Okay, so let's scale this icon back. I don't think that was actually set to scale. Make sure the vector is set to scale, so that's good. Okay, so let's just bring that down to 20 by 20. And let's Command C, copy that out. Let's go inside the small, Command V, paste that in. That should all be set now to scale. Let's drop that to 16 by 16. Okay, that's great. Let's just go into the container. Let's just center that so they align nicely. Let's select all of these here and let's create multiple components. There we go. And now let's combine as variants. There we are. Now let's rename this component as IconSlot. Okay, that's great. As the property, we're just going to rename that to size. Let's just go into the settings. So we've got large, medium, and small. So let's just test drive an example of how we could use this. So let's go to Assets. Let's type in IconSlot. There we go. So we'll just copy that across. Let's put it inside a frame. So this can be our testing area for the moment. Okay, so by default, it's going to show me the chevron down. If I option click, let's copy that out. If I want to change the size, I go up here to the IconSlot settings. I'm going to select size, go to medium. And as you can see, the icon scales down slightly to 20 by 20. I'm going to option click and drag. And I'm going to go in, change that to small. And as you can see, the icon scales again down to 16 by 16. So we've got our 3 different sizes here. Okay, so this is the benefit of using an icon slot. So instead of going backwards and forwards to your icons page, copy and pasting the icons that you need for whatever component that you're building, what you do is you put the icon slot inside the component. Okay, so say we made a component here, we wanted to use a different icon inside that component. So I've taken an instance of the icon slot. I want to go in, but for this component, I don't want to use the chevron down. I want to use, let's say we want to use the chevron up. So what you do is you click on the icon slot, you go to the icon within it, and as you can see up here in the Figma panel, you've got chevron hyphen down. Click on the drop down, and now you get access to all your icons. And then you just change that to chevron up. If you want to change the size of the icon slot, so maybe you don't need a large, click on the level above, which is icon slot, toggle the different sizes and switch it to small. So very, very easy to do. It works really well at scale. And what you can do is you can place this icon slot component inside all your other components. So as we progress this project more, we may need more icons. So what the great thing is here is this is going to work really well at scale. So we can put the icon slot in our different components as we build them. And then as we need new icons, we can add them here at the top, and then we can reference them within the icon slot. So as an example, I'm going to click on feather icons here again. Let's say we wanted this tick here. So I'm just going to copy that. Let's close the plugin. Command C, let's click here on the container, let's paste that in. So by default it's 24 by 24. I'm going to double click here just to check the SVG, it's set to scale. So I'm going to create a component. So the keyboard shortcut for creating a component as well is Command Option K. So there we go, we've created that as a component. If I now go into what we were using here, so let's go to chevron up, let's click on our drop down. And now we get the check, and that's now available. So click on check, If you want to go up a level, obviously we can click with the mouse, but if you want to stay on the keyboard, you press Shift Enter, that goes up a level. If we press Enter, that goes down a level. So let's go Shift Enter to the icon slot level. Let's change the size, let's make that large. And there we go, now we've got our check icon, and that can work across large, medium and small sizes. So I think this is going to be enough for what we're doing in this project. Maybe in larger projects you want to have more control on the icons, the stroke, and many other different things that you want to control. But for now, I just want to keep this simple. I want to use feather icons for the icons. I want to use an icon slot, which I can place inside my components, and then I can toggle the different sizes, and these icons will all be available within the icon slot. Okay, so let's just do a quick change. I'm going to click on all my icons. I'm going to go to the color, and let's just make sure these all use a standard color. Let's use 900 for now. So at least that's a design system color. Let me just delete this testing area for now. I think we're good. Potentially, if you're working with a larger design system, you probably want to add some guidelines in here for when you're creating icons. But like I say, for this project, we're using feather icons, so we have a consistent library to use. You might want to do this when building custom icons, so you have clear guidelines on maybe the stroke, maybe the default color that you're going to use, are you going to round any corners, and so on. So something to think about, something you can add if you want to. For now, we're going to leave this as it is. We've got our icons and we've got our icon slot. All right, so let's tidy up the page. Let's just lock these elements down. Okay, let's go to assets, click on the libraries icon. Let's click on publish. Okay, so we've got all our different icons that we've created as components. And we've also got our icon slot here. So let's just add some notes. Okay, I think that'll do. Let's click on publish. All right, and there we go. We're all done. So that's all published and ready to use. Okay, so I think we're done here. Let's just pop back into our project brief and just check out where we are. So we've done our colors, we have done the typography, we've just done the iconography. So we've added the icon slot and some icons, and it gives us some flexibility to add more icons in the future. Okay, so I think in the next video, we'll focus on imagery and set up some guidelines on how we'll use imagery in our project. It can be pretty basic, but as long as we've got something there, I think that's good. And then as we start working on our project, we can always expand those guidelines further. So yeah, that's what we're going to do in the next video. Okay, that's it for this video. Thanks for getting to the end. Like and subscribe, add some comments, check out some other videos on my channel. I am hoping to go for a walk today because it looks pretty nice. The skies are blue, which makes a change, and it's not raining. So hopefully the weather's good where you are and you can get out. So keep watching this video series as we build out the project further. So yeah, have a great rest of the week, and I will see you in the next video.